Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have quite a few different things we could cover on over here, but one of the biggest ones is it does actually kind of seem like the PlayStation 5 and its general availability, similar with the Xbox 2, has actually been one of the highest and best grossing amounts, and in terms of like November, the Black Friday, etc., has been one of the most successful months and successful, almost, I guess, cycles when it comes to consoles and console selling. Now, when it comes to Black Friday and Cyber Monday, typically these are very, very important marketing days for any big company. Amazon, Target, Walmart, you name it. But it's a big thing to note because with this huge supply shortage these past few years, it kind of seemed like this was maybe that one big thing, that one big oomph that kind of took it over the edge. So we're going to talk about this, talk about what's going on, talk about everything else in between, and talk about the fact that there's been a bajillion dollars worth of sales going on, and everything does seem kind of not so bad. So let's go talk about this as well. If any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or $500 giveaway. We have the brand new Samsung sale going on right now. I keep on pushing it quite a bit for Samsung. Good for your PC, PS5, and Xbox too. Just go check the big sales on over there. And of course, Amazon links, Target links, and Twitter and Twitch and links, all that down below. And let's dive into the video. So as we've been mentioning over here, we had to wait a little bit of a while for like a lot of the American-based information to come out for when it comes to what's been selling good, what's been selling bad, and all that. Sometimes the UK comes out a little bit earlier, but with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, these numbers are extremely intriguing. This is especially kind of also like the big hype of a lot of general stock availability, and even though this week might be slightly smaller in terms of general availability, it does seem like a lot of this stuff is still going good. Like some places still have some stock. I think Amazon's ongoing for a restock now. We've been seeing some in-store stock, and it kind of goes to highlight the fact that the availability has now massively increased, and it does seem like a lot more consoles are free-flowing, and that overall this Black Friday and Cyber Monday was essentially a huge, massive success. And this isn't the same thing too when it comes to Black Friday, when it comes to Cyber Monday, when it comes to the sales right before the holidays, aka right now, and for all the consoles, Switch, Xbox, and PS5. So we have an article over here now, even from IGN, stating the PS5 availability helped increase November hardware sales by 45% from last year. That's a huge, massive increase. That's a huge, massive bump, and I love seeing this. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was the best-selling game of the month and is now the best-selling game of the year too as well for some secondary stuff. But first, we'll focus on consoles. So November 2022, alongside Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 becoming the best-selling game of the year so far, the greater availability of PlayStation 2 consoles has also apparently led to a 45% growth in video game hardware dollar sales when compared to November 2021. So to break this down a little bit, that is huge. Like the 45% is a massive increase in terms of overall sales. And I think that kind of just goes to show that the stock levels are finally, after all of this time, somewhat equalizing. That means that we're finally getting to the point where you can maybe walk into a store and casually get a console. I keep saying we're not fully there yet, but every day we get closer and closer as more individual folks keep on buying consoles. So that means there's less demand. Online stock is lasting longer, although some places like Walmart did end up selling out, so these products are still selling out. Like there's still big demand for it. And we're getting to the point almost where it's like a 24/7. Like every single time there's a restock and they last a little bit longer, we're pretty much almost perpetually at the point where you could the shortage is almost over. It's not there yet. Things are still being sold out. There's still not stock in stores, but it is doing well. And a 45% increase is a massive sales increase. And this also might be pertaining a lot even with the Xbox side too, and the Switch maintaining its big levels. So as detailed by the NPD Group's Matt Piscatella, U.S. consumer spending as a whole in the world of video games actually reached $6.3 billion in November 2022, which itself was a 3% increase from the same time as of last year. Now, 3% is not the biggest increase, but I think a bigger thing is the hardware sales number, which was the 45% increase. There also really wasn't like a big Xbox holiday game. There wasn't like, a Halo and Forza, and PlayStation did go and have both Call of Duty and God of War, but those are kind of somewhat typical. I mean, more so the Call of Duty side as well. So basically, the PS5 was the best-selling console, apparently. And we were skeptical on this one, too, because we saw a lot of articles saying the Xbox Series X was, one, the Black Friday's top products as claimed, one of them, but it seems like as of right now, the PlayStation 5 actually was the undisputed better selling console, which kind of made sense. They were available up in stock a lot. There were still people checking restock videos. Some of my restock videos were still getting a lot of attention to, at least at that point as well. So the PlayStation 5 was the best selling console in the United States in both the dollar unit wise, like in both general units, which did beat the Switch. So that does mean the Switch did not have as many sales at the end of the day. But as well, same thing on top of that too, when it comes to price points. But I think this was only just in terms of like the month itself. The Switch in general is better overall. But it does kind of make sense though, because there's a hype factor still on the PS5 where people are still tracking and looking for restocks, tweeting out restocks, etc., etc. People still watching those on occasion for YouTube channels. But when it does come to Switch, they're probably just free flowing. It's just whenever we got stock, we're selling it. It should be pretty well stocked either way. But as of right now, Nintendo Switch is still the best selling console in units sold overall, but it's also a 7-8-year-old console at this point. But the PlayStation 5 did win this Black Friday, at least in America. Well, what I said makes sense. Pretty much every big retailer did seem to have stock available and did have things moving, which seems very nice. So then also on top of this too, but besides that, we also saw the Xbox doing phenomenally well. All these other websites, like I mentioned, have been stating that the Xbox Series X and S was like some of the best selling consoles throughout these past, throughout the Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So it just seems like everything has been doing phenomenal. But it seems like actually both, I think the Xbox and PlayStation seemingly actually beat the Switch, which is very, very intriguing to see because the Switch has just been churning like hotcakes. So as for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which became the fastest entry in the incredibly well-selling Call of Duty franchise to at least $1 billion already, it was also the best-selling game of the month in the US. The latest Call of Duty was one of the 4 new games that broke into the top 5 best-selling games, and I've actually played pretty much almost all of these. God of War Ragnarok did go beat it. It did apparently only get up to second place, but that's Call of Duty and one of the biggest Call of Duties in a huge gaming drought past few years. I think that's okay at the end of the day. But yeah, God of War did do very well. Call of Duty was number 1, and then we also had Pokemon Scarlet and Violet too. I've been playing that up on my Twitch stream. If you guys are bored and want extra giveaway followers, hit that on up. Side of Frontiers did actually apparently do well, even though I thought that game was very mediocre and very much not worth playing at the end of the day. I'll be honest with you guys. And funny enough, Madden, but a lot of the sports games right after, Madden, FIFA, and NBA 2K, all right underneath it too as well. So the other brand new games too are actual Tactic Ogres Reborn, which plays 17th. And all this was kind of pretty cool with that. But you guys can see the full-on list tied on in. We actually might go and see an even bigger ramp up for Elden Ring just because it is Game of the Year. And there was also brand new updates being planned with this too. But it's kind of surprising to still see different games such as Minecraft, Persona, Mario Rabbids, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and all these in between, like Super Mario Party Superstars, because just Nintendo just is always somehow getting good sales. But the reason, the bright side too, we've still been seeing all the PlayStation games and other Pokemon games doing very well. So it does kind of seem like for this, number one, it does seem like the shortages are kind of calming down at least a little bit. We're seeing huge stock numbers, and even probably as of watching this video, if you looked around, whether it's in-store or online, you could probably find somewhere, some way, shape, and form for someone selling a console out there. So whether it's in a store, in-store pickup, online order, or PlayStation itself, there is a lot of availability. And I do think this was very prevalent throughout this holiday rush because there is almost an entire 24/7 stock for most people who are looking and had just apparently these retailers had a lot of big stock, but a 45% increase would make a lot of sense because even sometimes for bundles and other various consoles, they weren't always selling super quickly either way, and that's been kind of more transitioning to normal consoles being the in-demand objects, so the non-God of War bundles and the non-Horizon bundles too. But we also do want to highlight that there was a lot of Xbox Series S deals, which kept Xbox definitely in the running over here, but it just seems like these sales have been flourishing and going pretty much everywhere. We've been seeing a lot of really good news and a lot of good stock floating around, and I like seeing all this in general. So it's a pretty big thumbs up, at least in my mind, when it does come with stock. But I do think we're kind of slowly, as we keep on getting more and more stock, hopefully this will hold until after the holidays, mainly because a lot of big retailers in November, December obviously want to get as much stock as they possibly can. So I'm going to have to watch this pretty closely and keep on seeing because it is potentially a little bit rough if we, kind of have more of a dry January and February. Right now, scalpers seem like they're not as interested, botters are definitely not as interested, and a lot of these retailers have had stock available pretty well for both the Xbox and PlayStation these past few weeks. So I'm going to hope that we can kind of maintain this huge influx of stock, and as well, it's very cool to see on how big these sales have been going and how well all these consoles have been being produced. So give me your thoughts and comments down below, and as well make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and $500 giveaway. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below for bonus entries if you guys follow, the Samsung SSDs for PS5, PC, etc. all linked down below, so check those on out and pick one on up, and same with the Target Amazon links too as well. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.